I'm Eric Frierson, a librarian at the UT Arlington Central Library. In Chapter 3 of Bill McKibben's book, Deep Economy, called All for One or One for All, Bill McKibben paints a picture of the individual in two distinct different ways, and I found it really exciting to read about the two ways he sees individuals. The one face that he paints on this individual is that free, that strong, that autonomous, that I don't need anyone, self-made person. The individual that can go anywhere and do anything. This is the kind of person that you can be, especially in the United States, where you have mobility to move from city to city to go anywhere. The other face he paints on individuals, though, is a little bit more unnerving. The other individual is that lonely, isolated person who doesn't have any connections with other people and doesn't rely on anyone for sure, but also doesn't have any meaningful friendships or relationships. And I think the argument that Bill McKibben is making in Chapter 3 is that America, and Americans in particular, have become so hyper-individualized. We've separated ourselves from each other so much that while we've been striving for this freedom and this power and this autonomy, we've actually created a society full of isolated, sad people. And really, this notion of sadness and of happiness is a theme that echoes throughout his entire book. And I think this chapter talks about how connections and being tied in with other people and relying on other people are really the things that can make us happy. One of the economic theories that he brings up in this chapter is the law of diminishing returns. That's a notion where you can make $50,000 or $500,000 as an annual salary, and you won't be any happier. There comes a point where more money will not make you happier. He admits that sure, if you're living in complete poverty, a couple of $1,000s is going to make you immensely happy. But if you've got all of your basic needs met, you have a comfortable lifestyle, more money really isn't going to buy you happiness. He makes the same point about relationships that you have with people. If you have hundreds of friends and you're really close with all of the people and you have these strong social ties with others, having another friend may not make you immensely happier. But if you are isolated and lonely and don't have anyone in your life, then having a new friend will get you that kind of happiness. So what he's suggesting by showing these two different curves on the law of diminishing returns is, yes, you need some money to be happy, but you also need these connections. You also need to rely on and have these strong social ties with other people in order to be happy. By separating ourselves from each other, by becoming financially independent, by becoming socially independent, that will make us happy to some degree, but without those ties, without those individual ties, we can't be happy individuals. So really, the notion, and in fact to me even, the notion of moving somewhere, starting life anew, this ability to recreate ourselves by getting a new university degree or finding a new job or moving somewhere across the country, even though I have the freedom to do that, and that does sound like an exciting prospect, that would also mean I would lose a lot of the social ties that I have here. And what I really think is that if we constantly move around, we constantly seek this freedom and this independence, and we're constantly shedding these ties that we have with other people, overall, despite the allure of freedom and the ability to be independent, despite the excitement that promises, what I think really is that if we lose these social ties, these reliances we have on other people, in the end, we're not going to become much happier. That's what I think. What do you think?